Recording in progress.
Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Hope everybody is good. Sorry about that. I'm just trying to disconnect my audio from my phone. All right, and then let's see something. But yeah, good night, good evening, good night, good evening, everybody. Hope everybody is good. Yes. So sorry we didn't go in last week, but this week we'll just be having a brief look at the markets, just something quick. Prof is also going to be coming in and joining us. Right, and then I'll also be going through the sweet spot indicator. But what I'll also do is cut up the videos so that you guys can see the sweet spot indicator alone. And that you can get onto it and start doing the things. But without further ado, we can just quickly look at my screen there, and we look at this week's economic calendar. All right, cool. My screen should be visible to you guys right now. And this weekend, the first thing that I take note of is it's the first week of the month, and we're supposed to have NFP, right? But we don't have NFP right now, and I haven't looked at the reason. I really thought we would be having NFP now, but when I quickly checked the weekly, the economic calendar, I saw that it is like 2 weeks from now, and it's going to be on a Tuesday. So yeah, it's really been funny trading NFP now. Even last month, we saw the double spikes occur there, and if you were quick enough, you did profit. And I told people I was trading two accounts, and one account actually made. So both accounts went in. I was trading gold and I was trading GBP USD. Now the GBP USD one I was too slow in, but gold really went our direction for a while. And unfortunately, I didn't close on the profits that I could have. So do take note of NFP being a little bit later this month, and also not being on a Friday. So it also being December. Don't expect too much volatility from it or anything that would excite us. But as far as this week is concerned, I do see that ADP NFP is still being kept on the first Wednesday of the month. So I thought really that have NFP going on at this time. And where is my host? But apart from that, I'm not really looking at anything this week as far as the trades go. I mean, far as fundamentals go. Sorry, not the trades. Fundamental goes. So what we can actually expect is Friday 3:30 Canadian dollar. I think we can expect some movement there. I know people tend to ask me like for everything PPI, CPI. Yeah. So I don't trade every single fundamental news this week. There is nothing that tickles my fancy, but I think if you do want some volatility this week from news, we can have natural volatility. But if you do want volatility this week, then you can get it from Friday, the CAD unemployment change. So it would be really interesting to see what it would do, because normally when there is NFP coupled with it, it does produce high volatility. So it would be interesting to see what we see there. But Prof, any takes from your side as far as this week's fundamentals are concerned?
Yeah, how's it guys? How's it guys? Yeah, definitely. Basically, so we're in an extended shutdown. So I'm sure everybody knows that we've been in a shutdown for quite a while. They tried to open up, but they've extended the shutdown yet again. Hence why the NFP is not going to be this week. So I guess all eyes on employment change, right? Because as we know, usually when we have NFP, we also have employment change and unemployment rate on the CAD. So since you guys know I do analyze and trade USD CAD, I quite love it. So my eyes on that and looking at the previous from 66,000 on employment change, the forecast is minus 4,000. And that in itself is telling you that the economists are actually looking at a weak Canadian dollar. So if they're looking at a weak Canadian dollar, it might just push USD CAD to the upside. All right. So the lovely thing with the systems we have is that it can give you an entry before, right? Not like 1 minute before or anything, because I've had some people ask me those things. It'll probably give you an entry like maybe earlier on in the day or earlier on in that session or stuff like that, right? Specifically on like the 15-minute time frame. So for the CAD unemployment change, I'm actually leaning on what they are saying, which is a weaker Canadian dollar, which might push USD CAD to the upside. But as you know, we do these analysis on Monday, and then sometimes things do change around about Wednesday or Thursday. So just keep that in mind in terms of market structure. But yeah, that's actually the only one that I am excited for. I feel like it will move quite a lot. So for all my fundamental traders, people that actually love trading fundamentals, keep an eye on the Canadian dollar. Keep an eye on USD CAD or anything that has a CAD in it, maybe CAD JPY, USD CAD, CAD Chef. Keep an eye on the CAD, and even if you don't trade it, it might be just wise for you to trade this one, but lower your risk because we are in a volatile economic state right now. I'm sure everybody is aware. So, yeah, personally, when it comes to the CAD, I am looking at what the economists are also looking at, which is a weaker Canadian dollar.
All right. So I think we can agree that we're expecting some volatility from the Canadian dollar, which is what I was saying. That guys, it's probably the most bit of action that you'll get in terms of fundamentals this month, but not this month, this week. But yeah, let's go into the charts. I see there's a message before I go in there. Let's see. Voice not clear. Is this Prof or Tumelo's voice is not clear? Whose is not clear? But yeah, let me just go in the interim. Guys, please do not draw when we're busy with this, as it creates distractions for us. Thank you. You see, oh, Prof, yeah. Okay, guys. So I just quickly want to look at this Euro JPY. The guys that are in my group, they know that I started selling. The guys that are in the new group, they know that I started selling this last week. And just to basically break it down and what I have been seeing and what I'm spotting, right? Just to go to the larger time frame trend, firstly. This is a monthly chart, right? And we can see that for most of the year, Euro JPY has been going up. So we do understand that candles don't always not have a top or a bottom. Candles very much have wicks. So if we can look at this whole year, this is January now, this is December. If we can look at this whole year, and if we could have a yearly chart, this is what it would look like currently. You see, with a bit of a tail there, and then sorry, it's a red color, and then a small wick over here. That's how it's looking, but I am expecting to see more of this thing where we do have a wick to the top side and we do have a wick to the bottom side, which we've already created there. So but what I'm looking at, I'm not saying that we'll necessarily come back into this zone directly, but we should see a bit of bearish movement moving towards the end of the year, because as well, what we can see for a year that's been very, 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 very bullish, what we eventually saw, right, was a candle where they came in with hard momentum, and basically when we look at this candle, buyers were in control, right, and then they pushed the market all the way to the top out over there. But as we can see, sellers came in aggressively, and then we can move down. I'll just move it down to a weekly. I'll skip the daily, but if we can see daily, we had that strong move over there. So if you see the price, that's the price that I was taking there, but we had quite a strong sell there, right? Which, if you can see this pattern, it's forgot whatever pattern they called it, but clear engulfing over there. And then if we can go to the 4-hour time frame, which is what happened last week. So markets came in, guys, markets came in, and they found resistance where the bears, this day is where the bears started, right, having a strong run. And eventually they came into that area where that open price was, and we can see price clearly rejected. Price clearly rejected. I entered somewhere here, this sell, pretty much up here. So it's been moving down since. So what I am expecting, like I said, that I am expecting a bit of pullbacks, and if those pullbacks can happen at least up until last year's high, right, it would be nice for the trades that I'm currently holding. Not that it would be nice, I mean, I don't want any currency to be devalued like that. No personal agenda, but for the purposes of our trade, it would be nice just to see them come back into a zone, because especially if we can look at here, we have been extremely bullish this year, unlike most of the years that even though you have bulls, bears come through, bulls, but bears did come through last year, bulls, bears. But this year, if we can look, has been extremely bullish, right? And we know market always needs to rest. It doesn't go in a straight line. So what we can see is last week, the strong bears came in, right? And not last week, 2 weeks ago. And then last week, bulls came in, and do you see the bull power? The bull power wasn't even that dominant because we failed to break highs. You know, we had 2 attempts, we failed to break high, and then we saw that it came down. And then we can see that here there were very aggressive bulls who came in, but again, the bulls power did not come here and violate the place where the sell started happening. So that's why I'm looking at a sell for the rest of the week when it comes to Euro JPY, and then GBP USD. What we saw, can I just come to a 4-hour chart? What we saw is, so last week I kicked myself for not sending a signal to my group to be like, bye guys, but we could see that, okay, after having quite the bullish bearish time, right, half of this year has been bullish, and then the other half has been bearish, but not so aggressively so. So we can see that Ivan, please don't draw as busy as it creates distractions. We can see that as much as markets coming back, because they haven't been coming back with such momentum, these higher highs, this market coming up here, coming down here, coming up here, coming down here, year on year, because for the past 1, 2, right, years, they've been violating high 3. years. So what's quite interesting to see is that even though we came to a big structure point over here, which was 2022's high, which was a significant high, right, in a very long time here. Markets did go and start selling, but as we see, they haven't been selling with great power. So last week we could see that so not even last week, the week before, or 4 weeks ago, market made a low, and then here they didn't violate the low. The other week they tried to come through, but they didn't violate it. So last week I was looking at a buy over there, but I didn't enter. But now what I see, especially when we look at the weekly chart, we do see an engulfing over there, quite a strong bullish engulfing. So that is already another thing that's telling us that the market might go up. So for this week, then I'm looking at being long on GBP USD. So I'll be looking for buys or waiting for the sweet spot indicator to issue buys so that I can look there. Yes, gold will be covered. Prof will be coming through on the gold. So yes, guys. So summary for this week, I'm looking for buys on GBP USD, and I'm looking for sells on Euro JPY. And basically, then I use the sweet spot indicator to give me the entries. So, and that's what I'm going to be talking about a little bit later. That how do I use it exactly for it to make sense? But Prof, I think I can head over to you. Yeah, because it's straightforward. Euro JPY looking for sells, GBP USD looking for buys. And so, Prof, can I switch over to you then, brother?
Oh yes, man. Yeah, definitely.
All right, all right. Let's make you the host.
Okay, guys, thank you for your time today on this rainy Monday. But let's start with USD CAD and then we'll end with gold. So starting it off on the monthly time frame, right? It's very, very, very lovely structure. Why I say this, anybody that trades price action, you can clearly see we've been bullish, forming higher highs and higher lows, right? And for my people that trade support and resistance, supply and demand as well as SMC, um, we can all clearly see that this is our support right here. So we are at this support slash demand zone, right? And we have reacted from it with a bullish engulfing, which most of us should know our candlestick patterns, and they matter a lot on our high time frames. Please keep that in mind, guys. Your candlestick patterns matter a lot on your higher time frames, like your monthly, weekly, and daily. Because when you see good candlestick patterns, it's usually giving you the direction, especially when it's in the trend, right? So since we're bullish, and here we are at this support slash demand, and we got a bullish engulfing pattern. We have been pushing upwards ever since, right? So with that said, we know that the high time frame momentum is towards the upside. Okay, so this is crucial information for when we go down to our lower time frames. Now let's go to our weekly time frame and get to see. As you can see, we can easily refine this support zone, right? Let's just do that. We can refine it. Some of you might be seeing this fair value gap for my SMC guys that the market reacted from, but still the same thing for my supply and demand and support and resistance guys, where we have this support that the market reacted from. So we have now refined that, and still it's saying the same thing that the monthly was saying. It pushed up from there, and as you can see, we have got our engulfing candlestick pattern. I always call for those that have attended my mentorships or stuff. I always say that this pattern is the mother of all candlestick patterns because within this pattern you tend to find a lot of candlestick patterns within this pattern, right? So since this happened at our support, it is telling us that we are pushing higher and we have been trending higher for a couple of weeks now. Now, to come to this week and what we are looking at this week, if you can notice, we broke this high right here, which was a resistance, right? Which was a resistance, was a supply zone for my supply and demand traders. This whole candle here, in fact, let me mark all of it, was a resistance. We broke that, retested it. Let me zoom in. Retested it with a pin bar. Some might call this a doji, but in this case, it's still a bullish doji. So the stars are aligned for the pulls, right? But then now we have a trick. Last week, we had an engulfing pattern that initiated the pullback towards this broken resistance, which now has turned into support, right? And we opened right in the middle of it, as you could see this week. So what does that say? Since we all know what an uptrend looks like, the monthly is on an uptrend, the weekly is on an uptrend. It even broke the previous resistance, turned it into a support. Now let's move into the daily time frame. The daily time frame, we have the same thing. We failed to actually break this high right here. We failed to break that high. The market failed, which is beautiful. Why? Because they didn't have enough momentum, right? Meaning that they need to come back to tap into some supports or some demand zones. Let me delete this zone here. As we could see, the same thing we did on the monthly. Now I'm doing it on the daily. As you can see, the market is right at our support, right? And for those that love SMC, I'm sure you can see that we have swept this liquidity here, this low, which some people were buying from there with the stop losses right below. Those people have been taken out, meaning there is fuel to push to the upside. So those people were taken out. We tapped into our support, tapped into our demand zone. So now there's fuel to push to the upside, right? And what was the fundamental saying? That the economists are saying that the CAD is towards the downside, meaning USD CAD should be towards the upside. So far, our fundamentals and our technicals are aligned, right? So what do we do in this point? Our odds are towards the upside. As Scooby said there, that he's looking for buys on GBP USD, so he'll let the sweet spot indicator assist him into getting those entries. And that's why, guys, we have these systems. They're not just there to decorate. We really use those systems in conjunction with how we understand the market. So as for entries, let's go to our H4. As you can see, the market was consolidating today after it tapped this support that we have drawn, right? So with that in mind, now we know that even the 4 hour is kind of preparing for some buys this week, right? So what you now need to do is look for your entry criteria, which I will not go deep into that because some of you have the ATM trading system, some of you have the sweet spot, which they are equally as good, guys. Because some of you guys have asked me which one is better. Guys, trust me, they're both doing the same thing in terms of giving you the entries. So that's why it's important to always attend these Monday market mapping sessions so that you can kind of get where our mind frame is at when it comes to specific charts. So as I broke it down from the monthly all the way to the H4, we are bullish. We can now do a last time frame, which is the hour. And even there, as you can see, we're already starting to kind of push towards the upside. So for those that have ATM, those that have sweet spot, it'll be a good time for you to look for buys because we know that the strength is towards the buying side. So that's my thesis for USD CAD. And let us move to gold.
For the
Gold.
USD CAD, what number are we possibly wanting to look at?
in terms
Or
of buying or selling.
yeah, for buying, what number would we possibly want to look at towards the upside?
As in the targets.
Yeah.
Of course, we're chasing higher highs. So since they've failed to break this high, the next better target is this high, right? Just using simple market structure and not complicating it. Keep in mind, guys, the market structure is there for a reason. So since we know we're bullish, in a bullish market, what do? We look for higher highs. In a bearish market, we look for lower lows. So in this case, I would be trading this pair up until it just shows me, okay, we're not trying to push higher. So I'll be looking for buys up until my buys are basically invalidated. All right. So yeah, I hope I answered your question there. And let's move to gold. Let's move to gold, the one that a lot of people are scared of, but they love it at the same time. So 2 weeks ago, okay, we'll start on the daily with gold. So 2 weeks ago, remember what we were analyzing 2 weeks ago? We were looking at this support. So for those guys that were in the Monday market mapping 2 weeks ago, you guys should be buying groceries for your family this Christmas. Because ever since then, the market has been buying. The sweet spot was giving us buys, ATM was giving us buys. So it was just easy for us because we already knew the outlook based on the analysis I did 2 weeks ago, and it's been moving ever since. And Tyler just asked the question that where are we targeting USD CAD? And I said what? Higher highs, right? So look at what gold did. It went all the way to this high. And 2 weeks ago, we didn't know that price is going to get there. We only knew how, based on this analysis, that we are bullish, and in a bullish market, you aim for higher highs. So some of you probably now are taking profits. Some of you are probably now skeptical of buying, which makes perfect sense, right? Because we have now reached this high, and the next better target is ultimate highs, like yearly highs, to the 4 hour to kind of see what the market is giving us. Notice the consolidation that happened today. Almost vice versa with USD CAD. Why is it consolidating today? Because they've reached this high, which there was stop losses above here. So a lot of people that were selling here, they already got taken out now. And people that are buying, that have their buying pending orders here, have got triggered. So the odds are, let me grab my path. Where's my path? There we go. So in this market, which is like this, as you can see, we're forming higher highs. What's next is we need to push down, at least up until here, before we start looking for buys. So buying right now would not be the smartest decision based on what I just covered on the daily, the analysis we covered 2 weeks ago, and what I'm showing you now. We need a pullback for us to be confident in our buys. So for people that are looking to sell gold, you guys might make more profit than people that are looking to buy gold. Why? Because it might just want to come back down to this support, this candle right here, which some of you might call it an order block. Some of you might call it a demand zone. Same thing, right? So the market should be attracted to these levels. The odds are we need a pullback. Those are the odds before we look for buys. And let's go to the hour to just make that a little clearer. As you can see, the market just doesn't want to push up in momentum. It was consolidating today, the whole day. Friday, we had a nice bullish push. Thursday, we had consolidation. Wednesday, we had consolidation. But the consolidations were towards the upside, forming higher lows each day. So clearly, the market needs to breathe. Breathe to where? This zone that I've marked here, this support zone. So I would be comfortable to buy the market from there, right? So I'll be analyzing it closely this week. to just see if the sweet spot or the ATM gives us sells, then we know we are selling towards this zone and not really more. And then look for a consolidation at this zone before we take the market up again. So that is my thesis on gold. Thanks a lot, man. You can reclaim host.
Chief, it's your thesis, Nkari. You're doing a hectic study there at University of Witwatersrand.
So,
All right.
brother, I wanted to ask for gold for the employment change. We would be looking for sales.
No, gold, you won't trade gold with employment change necessarily because it's not too involved. Maybe if you were looking at some news from the Swiss franc, they would be how can I say, the prices could change on gold there, but Canadian dollar is more you'd be focused on oil prices instead of gold prices.
Sweet, brother. Thank you.
All right. All right, guys. So what I'm gonna do? I thought about it. That let me quickly do the sweet spot thing on my phone, and I'm gonna screen record because I know most of you guys are using your phone. So to also retain the quality of the recording, I'm just gonna do a screen record, and then I'll share it to Telegram or to all the relevant groups as soon as I'm done, which shouldn't take me more than 10 minutes. But other than that, guys, I hope you're good. I hope you guys are pushing the trades. Remember, we are giving away 35,000 rands with the Prime XBT. So there are 3 different prizes there, and I hope you guys are just going in and taking advantage of that. But other than that, from my side, shout out, signing out.
Danko.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.